Okay, so today is gonna be something a little different. It's actually me talking about some gear that I haven't even touched yet. It's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K Pro. So that's the new thing. Pro is the new professional line of gear and technology, and Blackmagic just did it with this camera. But with that said, let's get right into what you're here for, and that's to talk about what this camera have, a quick overview of some specs that Blackmagic has released on this camera, and this camera is actually ready for sale if they have it, and pre-order on some sites. The first few things is this camera is not a new Blackmagic Cinema Pocket camera. This is a pro version of their already 6K version, and that gives it things that a professional or a production filmmaker would need, I would say. That comes with a lot of pros for me. So with me being an owner of the Blackmagic 4K, which is sitting right over there, and had been thinking of upgrading to the 6K just because there's a few things that I like about it. This camera kinda even adds a little bit more to that. And for me, those are some pros. They have added a built-in ND filter that's motorized, tilt LCD screen, also a brighter LCD screen. Also, that includes a new battery that lasts a little bit longer, and also the option to have an Evf Viewfinder. So with me, and a lot of people know, I just purchased a red Komodo, and I'm very happy with my purchase. But for some people that are looking into getting a new camera, I usually recommend them to go with a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema. Definitely if you're new to the filmmaking world, if your production work is just taking off, and if your clients are not really looking to have a full crew on set, which means their budgets are not allowing you to bring at least 4 to 5 people. So let's just talk about some of the pros for me as a Blackmagic owner. This is for people who are looking to get into it or already have it. So pros for me is the built-in ND filters. If you haven't had a camera with built-in ND filters, it's a game changer. I know a lot of us choose to use variable ND filters that go on front, or you purchase a matte box to add in some NDs. But with this built-in ND filters, now you can kind of have options. These built-in ND filters do have IR, which is really good. It gets rid of some of the bad rays from the sun, and it helps you get a really good picture. Now, we will have to see more from them to see if there's any color shifting, but just having ND filters basically are like putting sunshades on your camera. My other pro about this is LCD screen being tilting. Like, come on now, everybody knows that like every camera that comes out that we really want, we always ask for an LCD screen that actually can at least tilt. And Blackmagic has done it, because if you shot with this camera before, if you don't use an external monitor for some of those lower or higher shots, I mean, it's almost unusable. You're almost guessing if you're in focus or if your framing is right. So this really gonna help for people who don't wanna bulk it out with extra screens and things like that, and give you everything in one body. Another pro, and for me this is very good, is a brighter screen. I shoot outside of black. I mean, a lot of my shoots that I do for music videos are outside, and the screen on the Blackmagic was really good, but I never got to see good quality until I started doing a lot of night shoots. So now knowing that they have a brighter screen, which is crazy, like most screens that bright are your small HDs, so they're giving you that much brightness quality on the back of your camera, which helps you shoot in daylight like none other. And like I mentioned, there's a couple things that I don't fully see as pros, but that are in this camera. For me, it's that 5G color science. So they're giving you the color science from their 12K Ursa camera and putting it in this Blackmagic Pro. Now, the reason that's not a pro for me is because with a simple update, you can also get that on your Pocket 4K or your Pocket 6K. So that is not really a big difference, because at that point you can still go buy the 6K if you didn't need these other things that I'm talking about. Addition to this camera is on the side, they have added an extra port for a second XLR microphone. And it has phantom power. This is really great for people who would like to run microphones into their camera directly, and for some people that are looking to do stereo audio systems to this camera. And for some of the cons, which are not a deal breaker for me, because I did hit the pre-order on this camera, and those cons are the battery life. So they did give us new batteries, and there are a lot. So they did give us a lot. So they did get us new batteries, and they are a lot cheaper because you can find these batteries everywhere. But there's only 10 minutes more of battery life they're quoting. And for me, knowing that it has a brighter screen, this could not, and for me, knowing that it has a brighter screen, this could possibly not even give you that much more battery life, which is not a deal breaker because usually I'm running external batteries to a V mount, or for me, a gold mount, and I'm getting the most out of my battery life. But this could be a deal breaker for people who want to keep it light and handheld. Now they are offering a battery grip, which is really nice. It's potentially give you the power of 3 batteries, but it's gonna come with the cost of more weight and more size. Okay, so this is not too much of a con, but the EVF Viewfinder, like, it's really great that they're offering to us. I just wish they would have gave it to us for free. I know I'm asking for a lot, but most cameras usually give you this for free, and I kinda gotta let them pass on this because they are making sure that this camera comes in a really good price range for us. It's only like $500 more than a regular Pocket 6K, sitting at $2,500. And I mean, at this value and what you get in this camera, that's really great. Now this one is going to gear towards my current users or current owners of this camera, and it's the body. So it is the same shape as the 6K, a little beefier, and I have 2 things that kind of makes a hard decision. So if you have a 6K currently, you've probably built it out and have a cage on it. Well, with this camera body being beefier and built different, with this camera body being beefier, that cage is not going to work for you anymore. So now you're going to have to purchase a new cage. Now, that's not a deal breaker for a lot of people because a cage usually runs about $70 to $100, and that's just one change out. Usually the rest of your accessories will work with it. Definitely if you're like a small rig user. So don't think of that too much, but you are looking to spend an extra $100 if you're going to be upgrading to this camera. Now, also with that body form factor, for me, it's still that long shape, which is very hard to mount on gimbals, which we all know there's ways around it, and which is just very different than most cinema cameras, being built more side to side than straight and forward, and I hope that makes sense. But yeah, most cameras are long and this one is shaped more wide like a football, so it's very weird to balance on things and put in places. But they're sticking with that model and that form factor of the shape of the body, and that's kind of one of the cons with me. I wish they would have went more with the Ursa style or even like a C100, C200 style body, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. It's just something to think about when you're getting this camera. Well, I hope this video was perfect for you and short enough that you didn't have to go watch an hour-long stream and you could get all the information you want to know. If there's any other questions you have about this camera, leave them in the comments below and I'll make sure to reach out and try to get as much information as I can to you. Like I said, I did pre-order this, so I want to get my hands on it first, and once I get it, I'll be doing more reviews on it. So for anybody thinking of purchasing it, I will have some real-world tests for you to actually know before you go purchase this camera, because I want to let you know, like, the Blackmagic cameras are so great at every version, the 4K, the 6K, and I'm sure this 6K Pro will be too. And for some filmmakers, some things are not needed. You may not need built-in ND filters, so you can save yourself the extra money and go with a 6K. And some people don't need 6K, and they also already have micro 4/3 lenses, and the 4K is perfect. Trust, resolution is not everything. It is good to have, but you can do things with what works best for you better. Remember, this is your paintbrush. Use it wisely. And some people, it's about getting the best bang for your buck. So like I said, keeping this video sharp for you. If you have any other questions, let me know. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so when I do get that camera in, you'll be the first to hear about it. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.